Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the 60-gallon reconstruction. I want to start out by thanking all of my subscribers that have been sticking with me through the process and evolution of this tank, and want to give a big welcome to all my new subscribers. As of here lately, I've just been receiving quite a few new subscribers, and want to thank you guys for that. Also, I want to thank you guys for liking my videos and giving me constructive feedback on the system. You know, I owe a lot of where my system is today from other people here on YouTube who take the time to put out videos that are educational and informative. So I want to thank all those people that do that, and I want to try and give back and do the same so people can learn through my experiences with my system. And that's what we're getting into here, is that my tank, before, you know, I went ahead and tore it down and brought it to where it is today, you know, it just had a shallow sand bed in it, which was really not effective in removing nitrates at all. It was basically just became a trap. Also, when I initially installed this tank and put it all together, the sand that I used was a combination of like larger grain sizes and a little bit of crushed coral, which is not good. You know, it's just, it allows, you know, for too much water movement through the sand bed, and it just allows detritus and, you know, fish poop and all kinds of other crap to just work its way through the sand bed and just rot. You know, I wish I had, you know, some way to express to you the smell that I had to endure during the removal of the shallow sand bed from this tank, because, you know, myself and my girlfriend were just, it was horrible. So with that being said, the tank is all cleared up for the most part. A slight haze to it. You know, it's not what I consider to be polished clear like the tank was prior to this. It's trying really hard. The skimmer has just been doing an awesome job of filtering out all kinds of small silt. Also, I went ahead and I threw a filter sock on the drain to try and also aid in polishing the water and removing all the stuff that's flying around, because, you know, you might get lucky and see it here, but, you know, these clownfish that I have, for whatever reason, they like to go down to the bottom of the tank and just shake it, like just shake the bottom and just agitate the sand. And as you recall from part 1, the top layer of the sand right now is like a fine powder, and it just creates a sandstorm. It looks like a snow globe in there. So pretty much the tank is starting to go through a little mini cycle. It hasn't lasted very long. I mean, it cycled within like a day. You know, there was a quick ammonia spike, and then it was gone within the same day. So I was really pleased with that. You can't really see it in the video here, but there's a small amount of diatoms on the sand bed, which is understandable. You know, with anything, you can kind of see on the MP10s there, the brown diatoms, which is kind of interesting because the diatoms aren't growing anywhere on the rocks, and the only other place it's growing is on the MP10s. Now, this has to do with the fact that, you know, this rock was basically in this system for around 15 months, a little bit longer. So this rock is like fully cured, lots and lots of life, tons of beneficial bacteria. And during the process, the rocks were kept wet, you know, in a big brute trash can, you know, when I drained the water out. So the bacteria is consuming the diatoms before they even really have a chance to get going. And on the sand bed, you can kind of see that the diatoms aren't even growing within like an inch or so of the rock itself. You know, since we're talking about the rocks, let's talk about what's going on in here with them. I went ahead and removed about 45 pounds of live rock out of here. If you look back in my old videos from about a year ago, you know, the old updates on this tank when I first set it up, you can kind of see the original foundation rocks that I was working with. And like in a couple of my first videos, the large rock that you see there, I removed it. It was just huge. It was just, there was no way to really position it in any other position that it was in. And frankly, I wasn't really happy with it. And that's also part of why I decided to make the move and just redo the entire rockscape, you know. So what you see going on here with the rockscape is pretty cool. On the left side, you have 3 pieces of live rock that are stacked together, kind of making a tripod shape. So what you see is that where the clownfish are up in their frog spawn, that's a rock. There's another rock in the middle, and another rock to the right there. And there's lots of caves. One of the things I really tried to do is have as little of the live rock contacting the sand bed as possible to try and prevent the dead spots under the live rock, because your sand bed, especially a deep sand bed, really needs to breathe. On the right side, what you see over there is just 3 pieces of rock. There wasn't a lot I could really do with the larger of the 3 rocks on the right, because I have 2 now large rose bubble tip anemones attached to it, so it kind of limited what I could do, but I made it work and I'm happy with it. In this area here, right there and right there are 2 rocks, and they're creating archways, so there's so much water flow through the rocks. Right now the tank is being run by the 2 MP10s, and I have them on about 50% power right now, just because if I really go any higher, you know, there's a bunch of sand flying around and there are no dead spots even at 50%. It's running in a nutrient transport mode, so I get a good wave for a while, standing wave in the tank, and then I get some like surging, which is keeping everything suspended, and you can literally see the little particles flowing through the rock structure, which is what you want. You know, back when I had the other rocks in this system, with that setup, it was pretty much just a big trap for detritus. The rocks were just stacked and tightly like locked together, and didn't allow for good water flow, and a lot of like critters couldn't really get in there and get out the detritus that was rotting. So this scape should be a lot better in that respect. The way you see the corals here now are not in their final positions. If you recall from previous videos, I had a lot, and I mean a lot, of aptasia in this tank, and just the population exploded, and it's preventing me from being able to arrange the corals how I want to arrange them, because there's large aptasia and they're going to sting and just put a hurting on the corals. So I've recently gone ahead and got associated with a group buy to get some of those nudibranches that consume exclusively aptasia. I'm getting 10 of them. So once I get those and the aptasia is cleared from the rocks, then I'll be able to position the corals where I actually want them to be, permanently. And when I say permanently, I mean, for as long as I can, get used to being in one spot, because as you know, I'm always moving stuff around, trying to tweak, the positions of corals and stuff, but, I'll try and stop doing that. What else is going on? Yeah, the back of the glass is still got a lot of, I guess, residue on it from the sand. I'm trying to prevent myself from sticking my hands in the tank any more than I need to at this point in time, so that will either clear up on its own or later on I'll get in there and rub it off there. Also, things that has occurred with the tank as far as the livestock is that yesterday I found my mystery wrasse. He committed suicide, or he just died because he had somehow wedged himself behind the overflow box. There's probably about like 3/4 of an inch of a gap between it and the back of the glass, and that's where I found him. He was really wedged in there. Like, I actually had to move the overflow box a little bit to get him out. I was pretty sad about that, because he was just a really cool fish. Did some like really quirky stuff. He would come over to this side of the tank and just do all kinds of like weird swimming antics, as I call them. So I'm really gonna miss that fish. So all it is now is just the pair of clowns and the yellow tang, which is really liking the tank now. Lots of open space now, because before there really wasn't a lot of space for swimming, so definitely better for the animals. I guess I'll go ahead and take you guys down to the sump real quick and let you get a closer look as to what's going on in there. Bear with me here. Alright, so now you see we've got the protein skimmer in the first chamber, which is great. It's not really producing too much skim right now because I just gave the fish some food. But as you can see what's going on here, so we can get a closer look. Sorry for the noise, but I went ahead and when I installed the filter sock, I had to remove this pipe. This pipe goes from where the drain is and sits about 2 inches from the bottom of the sump, and it just reduces so much noise. It's really nice. Just a simple little $2 piece of PVC takes care of that. So for now, it's just pouring in the filter sock, because the way it's set up is I want to use this T-fitting off my skimmer, and with the T-fitting there and with that piece of PVC going straight down, there's no way for me to get the sock on, so it's just running that way. And with that, a lot of people that have this skimmer, they run there's a gate valve that comes with the skimmer, and I took it off completely, because I'd be running it wide open anyway, and I put this T on here, and that reduces the splashing. I mean, there's very minimal bubbles being created. You know, so few bubbles that, I mean, through this gap here, I mean, there's like nothing. No micro bubbles making it out. So that's really nice. Even with the filter sock off, there's still no bubbles really going on. You know, down here I've got the and I got the Mag 9.5 going on in there. I got my heater, little LED strip just for some light going on. You know, this is going to be the refugium area. You know, I placed a couple of rocks down here. One of the larger rocks that was in the system had a bunch of green star polyps on it. And I didn't really want the green star polyps getting out of control with this new rock setup, so for now they're down here. You know, and the other one there, which was the centerpiece. You can see it, that long piece there. That was the centerpiece of my tank previously. So it's just down here for now. I may end up putting it in my 30-gallon tank that I also have. So the water travels through this fuge area. I got a Coral Reef 4 down there, just keeping the water moving. Spills over and goes down into this chamber here that's kind of in between, kind of like a bubble trap. Because like down here, you can see, and I have, you know, Kenny Pure Elite in there. I also have this little Maxigen 1200 that's running my reactors. You got a row of FOS, and I also have, like you can see here, you know, some bio pellets. You know, the bio pellets are new, so we'll see what happens with those while I do a video on them. And I have my return pump. Mag 7, probably upgrade to a 9.5 here in the near future. To have about 4 feet of head pressure, and it kind of really kills, you know, the gallons per hour. So yeah, you know, that's pretty much what's going on with the system as of now. Get a more detailed update on everything here in the near future once things start settling out. Thanks again to all my subscribers. We'll be back with another video soon.